I'm joined on the line by the WITS Radio Academy's Paul McNally. He's going to speak to us about this week's episode of The Science Inside. Now, it's a particularly interesting episode because, of course, it features the spy cables in the possession of Al Jazeera that shows that South Africa got up to a lot of wheeling and dealing behind the scenes that us South Africans had absolutely no idea about. Paul, won't you chat to us a little bit about what the spy cables are to start off with?
Yeah, this was a whole host, feels like a long time ago now, but this was a whole host of leaked documents which basically revealed South Africa as having many wheelings and dealings, like you say, and a lot of basically us working as spies. And we wanted to go into all the different facets of what was revealed in these leaked documents.
So you started off by speaking to Wits University's Randall Patton. He describes himself as a rocket scientist, but you spoke to him specifically about those missile plans that were stolen from South Africa. Probably not something that we want stolen.
Yeah, I mean, and your laughter is exactly how we reacted. I mean, we had no idea that South Africa had such a good missile program. And the more that we researched it and spoke to people, and like our expert in the show who describes himself as a rocket scientist, we found out that we have a really good missile program. And even though it's quite macabre, because a successful missile is also, causing some sort of tragedy, possibly at the other end, he went into step by step about how we've developed this program that can target people with lasers and sort of shoot. I mean, the idea is that governments are in a race towards being able to try and create a missile that can shoot anywhere in the world within an hour, so that you can get to your target from anywhere else in an hour. And we're getting pretty close. South Africa is really on top of this.
How horrific. And we can't keep the lights on in the country. I think that's probably the most disturbing thing.
Well, by the sound of things, it's not actually us who'll probably use them. We'll probably develop them and then sell them to someone else to use back at us. But yeah, that's how it goes, I guess.
Well, good for us, I guess. Something else that came out during this whole spy cable saga was that South Africa was involved in quite a few cover-ups, and of course you also had a look during your investigations at lying, something that it seems the State Security Agency has no qualms doing. So you chatted to a psychologist about the psychology of lying. What did you find out?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to get into this topic of the spy cables in all different ways, and we wanted to look at lying, and what we found was that pathological liars, people that you probably have met in your life, possibly dated, and who just lie kind of spontaneously, they actually have a different biological makeup. And we sort of look into the fact that it's not always, I mean, you can argue either way, but it's not possibly them to blame. So if they're just lying about anything, it could actually be the construction of their brain that's actually causing them to do that, which we found fascinating.
Although I don't think we're going to let our State Security Agency away with that. They're probably going to have to answer for a lot of what was uncovered in the spy cables. Now, the last little bit of the show focused on something I found absolutely fascinating, and that is a store where you can buy all sorts of spy gadgets, from CCTV to hidden cameras, audio bugs. It sounds like something from James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we wanted to sort of bring it home to the idea that you can buy this stuff. If you fancy yourself wanting to spy on people, a lot of it is, as our expert says, it's about spying on your spouse. But we also touch into the kind of horrific side of it. Like last year, with the stories that were coming up around nannies that were abusing children that they were looking after, and how they were caught through nanny cams. So we look at the technology of putting in a camera into a stuffed teddy bear, and using that to film what could be happening when you're not at home.
Now, before I let you go, Paul, in addition to looking into the spy cables, you also had a look at something that I think broke the internet a couple of weeks ago, and that's that blue and black or white or gold dress. Firstly, what did you see?
I saw black and blue. That's what I saw. But I am certified colorblind, so I actually have no idea what is real most of the time.
Well, I saw black and blue, and I couldn't see anything else. I really thought my colleagues were having me on. Turns out they weren't, but there's a scientific explanation as to why we were seeing these different colors.
Yeah, Olivia Solomon, she goes into why this is the case. But, and without giving too much away, there is a sense that you shouldn't feel too bad, no matter which one you see. It is almost what is built into you, which is more interesting actually than if it's something to do with your eyes. It's actually, you are that kind of person. So you are either a black or a blue kind of person or a white and gold kind of person. You just have to live with that.
Well, to find out the science inside that dress and also investigations into the spy cables and what makes us lie, why don't you listen to the full episode of The Science Inside? You can find it below this video and let us know your comments in the comment section below. Paul, thanks so much, and we'll chat later in the week.
Thanks very much.